In today's video, I'm going to be fixing these dog wee burns. But first of all, I've got a confession. Forgive me, for I haven't watered the lawn as much as I should have done. But I promise to do better from here on in. Life's just gotten away from me this week. I've managed to start in the borders. I cleared a lot of the borders out, got so far up. But he's desperate for a cut. It's not been cut for over a week. We need to give it a trim, see what we're looking at, and then get on with these dog wee burns. Safety first. I mean, you can tell it's dry, it's quite obvious with the colour of it. And it always seems to dry here and over in that corner down there. But also, you see this? These are my footprints. Now if we stand on it, okay, if it's in good condition, that should spring back up really, really fast. And you should be able to see it springing up. But it's not. Okay, it's laying flat, so it needs more moisture. Anyway, that's for another day. Let's get on with these dog wee burns. So, just going to show you how to deal with it. Now, because it's burnt, what happens is it can also damage a little bit further down as well. So it's best to take out a few inches of soil if you can. I mean, it does often still work if you just clear out the top. But if you take out a bit of soil as well, it stands a better chance of recovering. So, a couple of options. You can get a spring tine or a Springbok rake. This is a bulldog one. I've had this for probably 10 years and it's been really good. And you simply just rake all the dead matter out until you can see lots of soil. Okay? And that's that. Or you can use a specific Scarifying rake. This is my Wolf Garten Scarifying rake. It's got the Scarifying blades on there and it's the same process, but you just rock it backwards and forwards and it's more aggressive. And that'll clear it out, but it's the soil as well, if you want to do this. But I want to show you this method as well. It's just simply cutting it out with your spade. Now you need moist soil to do a good job here. So I recommend you give it a good soaking for maybe 10 minutes or so and give it a chance to work in. And then, once that's occurred, maybe 10-15 minutes in total, you can start on with this piece. And all I'm doing, I'm going down maybe a couple of inches. And just digging out the worst piece. And that is going into there. And it's always good to do a little inspection, just to make sure there isn't anything like grub activity. But that is nice and clean. So I'm going to do the same with the rest of these, but let me just show you what we're going to do with this. So this is perhaps the easiest way. You just get yourself a bag of topsoil, and we want to add topsoil to the hole nice and evenly. And once we've got maybe an inch in, just firm it down a little bit. So we're building it up in layers. So now we go for the second layer, another inch. And if there's anything funny in your soil, just pop it to one side. And again, we just firm that one down. We'll go for a third layer. Now we're trying to get it almost flush with the top. We'll just firm that one. Because once it's all come through, you don't want this section to be lower. And it will sort of sink a little bit over time. Okay. Now we can see there the soil itself. What I'm looking for is the top of the grass at the side of it. So we've got the roots going down, and at the top here is there. So that is about 1 centimetre there, which is perfect. And that goes all the way around. And what we do, we take our seeds. Now I'm using Boston seeds BS bowling and putting green grass. It's gone down a little bit heavy there, but it'll be fine. Just a good even coverage, perhaps 1/2 centimetre apart, maybe 5 millimetres is what you're approximately trying to get, and you want it nice and as even as possible. And then you finish off with either more topsoil or some multi-purpose compost. Now, compost adds nutrition, but topsoil helps to stop the wind from blowing it away. Now obviously, depending on your soil type, it's always good to add a little bit of compost anyway. But today, I'm not doing that. And if you want a list of the compost what I use, just go to my website, lawnright.co.uk/compost, and it'll list all the ones that I personally use. And there's one on there which is absolutely amazing. It's a premium product, a little bit more expensive, but it's a good all-round product. And that's it. All you have to do now is keep this moist. Simply water 2 or 3 times a day, just lightly, and the light watering will help to keep it damp without moving the seeds around. So that's it. That's particularly done. Now the finished level is level with the top of this surrounding grass. Now when I say top, what I mean is the whole grass piece. So you've got the blade of grass. So in essence, this soil is level with the base of these blades of grass. And that's what we're looking for all around. Right, I'll carry on with the rest of these and then we'll have a little chat. Now, if you've not got pets, you can leave it like that and hope that the weather's not too bad. And within a week or two, it should pretty much all be through. But because our dogs are constantly running up this section of the lawn, I'm literally just going to stretch some fleece out over the top, just for about a week or so, and we'll keep having a peek and seeing what it's like. So this is an old fleece. I often save a lot of fleeces from customers' lawns. You can use them a few times, as long as they're not too bad. You'll always need more than you think of these pegs, and they're not too much. Now my question is whether we're going to have to do it this way, are we? I was hoping to have done it this way. And I don't think it's going to reach to get all of them at the same time. Not to worry. Not to worry. We'll start at this end. Now again, this helps if your ground's soft. You can just push the pegs in nice and easy. I just want to make sure this is lined up with the edge properly. See how that corner over there is not allowing me to come all the way down, so it's important that we get it right up to the edge. So I'm going to put that one into there, and then we'll see how far we can get down here with this one. Oh yeah, we're good. We are good. So I'm going to have to go into it. I don't want to, but I'll have to go into it to peg that corner down. And same along this edge, because if not, this is just going to blow up. And it's as simple as that. Scissors are very useful. I think about there is perfectly fine. And that's that. And then at least we're covering, just that little bit, look. We need a little bit there for that piece. So we'll get some pegs in, peg this side down. So you want to be pegging fairly often. I'm probably going every 40-50 centimetres, but just go wherever you want. Come right over to this corner here. Now you do want some in the middle as well, because the wind can actually get up underneath it. So maybe every metre or so, I just put one or so in the middle, and that'll make it good. Oh, close, not close enough. One in there, one in there. Now what I want to say is, there are other methods of doing this, and I'm going to go through those now. So you can pre-germinate seed. Just look on YouTube, there's plenty of videos that tell you how to pre-germinate. It's something I've never actually done, but you know, it's one of them things. Never really needed to, but if you want it to come through fast, then you can get it to the point where it's just about ready for coming through, and then get your seed mixture down. I should probably do a video to show that at some point. Now the other method is to take some plant pots, some empty plant pots, trays, buckets, whatever, different sizes of plant pots, fill them up with topsoil, and then plant some grass seeds near the top with a thin layer of soil or compost over the top, and water it and cut it with your garden shears. And then whenever you've got a round burn mark, you simply take your plant pot, you dig that out, you get your plant pot, take it out of the pot and pop it in. If you want to put your pot on top, you can go around it so you know how much, the actual size of the pot, so you don't take too much soil out. Okay, we've just got two little pieces here to do. I think we'll just cut individual pieces for these. We've got to find the edge first. Now this will stop birds from getting to the seeds, and it should help reduce the chance of the dogs churning it up to a certain extent. The only other way is to put a fence up, which I've done in the past. But I don't see there's much point just for a little piece like this. It's not easy when the wind's blowing. Right, put one in there. Now there's already a peg in that one, and I'm going to take it out and I'm going to use it to go through both at the same time. So I just need one more peg for here. I'll borrow this one. And that's it. That might blow up, so I'll get another peg for there. Could probably have done with two, one there and one there, but we'll see how we get on. I'll monitor it, or I'll maybe put some more pegs in later on. Just push them down as much as you can, and then all that's left to do is water and keep on top of watering. Pushing these edge ones right down. We do not want that fleece blowing up, because all this edge here is just going to come up. It's not an easy one to do unless we put some rocks around it. But that's it. That is it. So the only thing left to do now is water. Now, you've got to keep the seeds as damp as you can until it's germinated, until it's all come through. Now, while it's warm, it can come through or start to come through in as little as 3 to 5 days. But in the heat, you've got to water more. So you might be watering as much as 4, 5 or even 6 times a day. Not for long, and just a nice light mist coming down. As we get into cooler weather later on in the year or earlier in the year, you'll obviously have to water, but you won't need to water quite as much. I just need one more peg over here. Just make sure it's all nice and down. That one, there we go. So, actually it wasn't for that, it was for this one. And that's all in. Right, that is it. So my job for the next week or so is to keep this as damp as humanly possible, and I'll take this off in about a week or so's time and we can see how it looks. So if you've got any questions, comments, leave them down below. Obviously, if you're in a hosepipe ban, you need to think carefully about doing this. Check with the water company that you're with and whether you want to do it or you want to wait until later on in the year. But there's often a clause where if you've seeded, then you're allowed to water for 28 days. Somebody said to me it might only be if you have a company in to seed for you. So you need to look into the specific rules for where you live. But remember, you can save water from your shower, from your water butts, things like that. What we call grey water. So every time you turn your shower on, put a bucket in, and those first 30 seconds it's filling up, and you'll fill 1 or 2 buckets up. And they can go in your watering can or even into a sprayer, and you can walk up and down and spray a little bit of water on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. See you soon.